attend church service last Sunday because he was out of town. So I have a very cold quilt for him. He gave us all hats.
Hey, John, we're going to wrap you in this.
Okay.
All right, whatever. It's beautiful. Yep. There we go. Beautiful. Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you guys so much.
You're so welcome.
Okay, I think we're going to get started. So I thank you all for coming out today in this beautiful, balmy, sunshiny weather. But we do live in Wisconsin, so I guess we just know it's a part of the joy of living here. So I'd like to welcome you to our New Hope annual meeting. I would like to call this meeting to order on Sunday, January 25th, 2026 at 10:47 a.m. Just an important procedural note. If you have any questions or concerns during this presentation, please raise your hand and we will address it as we go through the various topics. We are pleased that this annual meeting is also being live streamed this morning to allow those members unable to attend a chance to hear this annual meeting presentation. All right, let's start off with our New Hope Lutheran Church mission statement. A welcoming community of faith inspired by God's grace to love, grow, and serve. As president of the New Hope Lutheran Church Council, I want to thank you all for attending our meeting today and for your continuing support to this church body, including your generosity and financial giving, voluntarily serving in countless ways, and entrusting your church council to be faithful stewards of those many contributions that are intended to make New Hope Lutheran a beacon of light in the community and world. All right, our first order of business is going to be to approve the minutes from last year's annual meeting, so the 2024 annual meeting minutes. You can find that on page 3. So I'll give you a minute or two here to read through that.
I move acceptance of minutes.
Okay, any additions, corrections? We do have a motion to accept the minutes. Do I have a second? All right, any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion is passed to approve the New Hope Lutheran Church annual meeting minutes, which were on January 19th of 2025. All right, as we move on, in our booklet, we have our parish statistics. This year we had 10 baptisms, 1 affirmation of baptism, 7 confirmands, 12 funerals and interments, and 3 members were released. Our current baptized membership is now 514 members. All right, if we go to our pastor's report, on 5, Pastor Michael is now beginning his 8th year as lead pastor, with hopefully a few more years in him. He has requested to transition to half-time in 2026, which the council has approved. At the end of the year, a vision task force was created to work with Pastor Michael to help navigate this transition. This group will continue to meet with Pastor throughout the year to assess and ensure that the needs of our congregation are met. As we start 2026, we ask New Hope members to prayerfully consider serving in various needed roles as Pastor Michael transitions to halftime. Thank you once again, Pastor Michael, for continuing to shepherd our New Hope congregation. All right, and then for the President's report, I want to express my sincere thanks again for all the support and guidance from Pastor Michael and the entire church council as I served as president this first year. I want to thank Joe, our council treasurer, and Becky Loftus, our office administrators, for their continued work with Clergy Financial to manage the financial needs of our congregation. I greatly appreciated their added efforts this past summer when they navigated the challenge of a cyber breach on several of our church accounts. We were fortunate to recover most of the loss. To hopefully prevent this from happening again, the council did approve the purchase of a new Apple laptop that our treasurer will use solely for New Hope financial purposes, because we don't want to have to do that again. All right, as we move on, we have an overview of our ministries. Just kind of I'll give a brief synopsis. Our Random Acts of Kindness cards have continued to be shared by members of our congregation, and we need to continue to be doing that. I have to mention the incredible service that Joyce Gilberts continues to provide our church and community members every week with her visitations to nursing homes and shut-ins, offering communion to those that request it. She is a valued asset to Pastor Michael and is a true blessing to us all. Wherever she is, let's give her a hand. Some other events: there was a community meal at the Ridgeland Farmers Market, there was a community picnic held in September, Parents' Night Out. All of those provided opportunity for community outreach and fellowship. The Outreach Committee also hosted game nights at Sand Creek and Pine Creek sites. Fun was had by all. Who doesn't love bingo, right, and winning prizes? The community is planning to organize a few more in 2026, so we're looking at our first one maybe after one of our Lenten services. Since we're already there and having a little lunch, let's play a few games. All right. There was a new member reception held at Mark Gilbert's home. Thank you, Mark, for hosting that fun event. There was a defibrillator course was held and led by Lance Loftus at our Sand Creek site. The Life Act was also demonstrated, thanks to Joyce Gilberts for coordinating those events. And Noisy Offering for 2025, we were just 2 cents shy of $11,549. And those were all dispersed to the various causes and agencies. Thank you so much for your generosity. Moving on to property and management. 2025 was rather quiet this past year in regards to maintenance and unexpected repairs. The HVAC contract with Gene's Heating and Cooling have kept the aging Sand Creek system operating well and have actually helped reduce propane usage in 2025. A landscaping project was completed in Sand Creek. Audio Architects upgraded the hearing impaired equipment at the Sand Creek site. Our custodians are doing a great job at both sites. At Pine Creek, Lon, Christopherson, and Nancy are keeping the facilities looking great. At Sand Creek, the Burr family is doing a wonderful job. Thank you all very much. Let's give them a hand as well, because that is a big job too. At the end of the summer, our lawnmower at Sand Creek experienced a broken mower deck. The estimated repairs were cost prohibited due to the condition of the mower. It was recommended and approved by council to contract All Rights Lawn Care LLC for future lawn care versus purchasing a new mower. We felt then lawn could be mowed at appropriate times and as needed. We thank Mike Olson for his past years of service. The Pine Creek Lawn and Cemetery was and will continue to be mowed by Alan Lean, and Jeff Christopherson does our snow removal, and we thank all of them for their continued service. And then finally, the last, a professional window cleaner was contracted for the large interior windows between the narthex and sanctuary in Sand Creek. So that was kind of the highlights there. Moving on to youth and family education. The Sunday school curriculum this year is called Stories of the Bible in picture format. Thank you to our dedicated teachers who instruct and nurture the kids: Stephanie, Christy, Samantha, Natalie, Clarissa, and Carol at Sand Creek, and Mary at Pine Creek. Thank you for your commitment to our church's children. They are our future, and hopefully I didn't miss anybody.
It's Natalie Ellison and Clarissa Burr.
Clarissa Burr.
Not me.
Oh, not you?
Not me.
I'm wondering if because of you helping with confirmation, though.
Well, I do that.
So you are doing some instructing. Okay. All right, in May, Sunday school ended with a picnic at the park. In June, Vacation Bible School Bible Beach Club was held and attended by 10 children. The Christmas pageants were performed by the children at both worship sites, and I'm certain if anyone wants to volunteer their time in Sunday school or Vacation Bible School, they would be welcome. They would welcome you with open arms. So keep that in mind. All right, and then finally our worship and music. Our AV system has continued to enhance our worship service. Our site streaming service has continued to be well received. We have 130 subscribers. We average about 140 views each month, or about 32 per week. I want to thank all who have volunteered to read and serve communion at our service. We greatly appreciate you and are always looking for anyone new who would like to help. This past year, we had 1 guest pastor and 6 lay leaders fill in with wonderful messages when the pastor was away. Thank you, Mark, Carol, Joyce, Lana, John, and Natalie for leading us in worship those Sundays. I'm sure there will be opportunities again now with Pastor going halftime that if anyone would care to share a message, just talk to Pastor Mike and he can maybe get you set up. Thanks to all of our talented musicians who contributed when called upon during the past year. And then we did enjoy a program from our Youth in Christ group from Prairie Farm, where they provided music and a message one of our Sundays. And then, of course, we want to thank Roger Paulson, our audiovisual expert at the Sand Creek site. At Pine Creek, Joe and I usually man the computer, but thanks to Lon and Max for filling in too at Pine Creek when we're gone once in a while. All right, moving on to the men's group. Our men's group was a great financial supporter for our quilters this past year. 24 Thanksgiving food boxes were delivered to local families. They sponsored 2 fundraising pancake breakfasts, one on Palm Sunday and a community pancake breakfast the first Saturday in May. This generous group gave $1,500 in college scholarships this past year, and they have a healthy year-end balance of $11,892.35. And they are always looking for new members. All right, the women, I think in our book only the Pine Creek report got in. Carol is planning on getting something there put together when she was away, computer issues. So basically, most of you women that are involved, I think you know what your impact is. It's amazing. All right, I just have to say the impact of what?
1,006 quilts, 597 to Lutheran World Relief, 20 quilts to Global Health. We've given to 8 nursing homes, food pantries, street ministry, domestic abuse, homeless shelters, career development, hospice, and more. 272 to New Hope, to local people, with including health, hospitalization, death and family, baptisms, graduations, high school graduations, fire, vehicle accidents, significant birthdays, Christmas families. This year was 4 quilts to them. 7 quilts as fundraisers for medical bills. Total quilts distributed 992, so that means there's a few in the closet yet. Kits to Lutheran World Relief, 106 personal care, 136 baby care, 147 school backpacks, 14 fabric kits that help women learn to sew, kits to Global Health Ministries, 65 in hospice, 112 newborn, and 2 large boxes of sanitizers. Thank you to all the people who contributed to that. We also have 2 functioning circles that meet on Thursday morning, one, and Wednesday evening for the evening group. And we welcome all the support we have gotten from people of the community for fabric and all of that and money, as well as people within the church. You are all very much appreciated. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Carol, for those statistics. And if you look on page 6, there is a report for the Pine Creek, and we do have a quilting group here, Grandma Great's Happy Sewers. All right, and so you can kind of see what their contributions, I think it says 128 quilts, but not only quilts are they doing, they are also creating lap robes, shoulder wraps, walker bags, catheter bag covers, gait belt bags, and pillows. And then again, like both of our groups, donated countless baby kits, school backpack kits, personal care kits, hospice kits, and sewing kits to Lutheran World Relief and Global Health Ministries, as well as to the local shelters, nursing homes, and cancer centers. All right, our Sand Creek and Pine Creek Welkas are quite the amazing group and have a wonderful legacy. Let's all give them a hand. All right, so as we continue on page 7, we have the treasurer's information, and I'm going to turn that over to Joe.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'd like to personally thank Becky and Pastor Mike and also Clergy Financial for assisting us with all the financial numbers. And as we begin, I guess we can jump right to page 7 for the dedicated funds, which appear in the left-hand column on page 7. It shows our noisy offerings for the year, how much was collected by month and for the purpose. Then below that is the parsonage fund and the memorial honorums. Investments of the parsonage fund is through Thrivent, and the stock market has done very well for us this year, showing a $17,000 gain. Then moving on to the St. Crick Memorial Fund. Money was paid this year. We decided to prepay our LP this year, so money was taken from that of $7,645. So we, hopefully, if it warms up, will not be purchasing any more LP for the rest of the winter. Also, as Linda mentioned, the Mac laptop was purchased for use to access our accounting. The Apple computers are supposedly a little safer than the Microsoft as far as being hacked. On the right-hand column, top of page 7, we have the Pine Creek Sunday School, and it shows what was spent from that as well as any income. So if anybody has any questions, just wave your hand and I'll try and catch you. Next is the Esther Wright Fund, which is also through Thrivent. Again, showing a good year of $15,000 in gain. And that is actually divided into two funds. We have a high yield and a money market fund, which is shown there separately, with an ending balance of $196,954.63. Our Pine Creek Building Fund, there was actually no income and no expenses this year. Everything that we did, putting up shelves, playground equipment assembled, trimming shrubs, everything was donated. So we had actually no expense for the year. And then the men's group, I won't read each detail there, but they also ended with a very healthy balance, and thank them for all that they do for the community and for our church. Moving on to page 8. Pine Creek Welka. It shows all the incomes and expenses there. I will note that the defibrillator fund, the $1,000 that was given, deposit was made, but it somehow has not hit through the bank. So Annette will be issuing a new check. We will run it again and get that deposited. So if you see any discrepancies in the ending balance, the $3263.59, that $1,000 has not cleared the bank. Not sure where it went. I've checked all the accounts. It has not been withheld from the Pine Creek Welka Fund. So we will just reissue a new check, and that will bring the balance to $3263.59 as noted.
And as I mentioned too, I don't know if all you were here, how we've been raising the money as we've been taking our lunch offerings every Sunday, and that's been going into the Welka. Annette has been earmarking that for the defibrillator, and then when we got a bigger amount, we moved it over. So what we're collecting there today will be something that will continue to go for a defibrillator here at Pine Creek.
Now, the Sand Creek site, as Carol mentioned, what they have contributed, and I thank the ladies for all that they have done over the course of the year. It shows where some of their monies was spent also. On the bottom of the page, the affiliated organization report. Now, these are technically not part of the church financials because they operate under their own entities. As it states, the foundation here at Pine Creek is inactive, and the one at Sand Creek is, again, doing well in their investments, showing money available for whatever the board there determines a need.
Is that foundation planning to meet after the annual meeting? I know other years you have.
I think they just met a couple weeks ago,
Okay,
We met 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
so we're good.
All right, moving on to page 9. It's still continuing under the affiliated, the Pine Creek Cemetery Association, and their balance. Also the Zion Cemetery Association. Now, these are all separate funds, so. And our Savior's Cemetery Association. Again, not reflected in any of the church numbers. Now we can move on to page 11, which is basically our balance sheet and our statement of activity. If you'll notice that there are a bunch of zero accounts, and that refers to our bank accounts being compromised in July. So new accounts were opened at the Security Bank. And then as all the checks cleared, money was moved from the old accounts, which are all the zeros, to the new accounts, which appear right below them. There are numbers on the left. If everybody sees those. If you have any questions concerning any of the accounts, just call out whatever number with your question, and I will try to address that.
so the numbered ones are our current accounts right now,
Yes. And
because
that-
you'll see the zeros in other places too.
And there are 2 pages to that report.
Any questions or discussions?
Okay, I guess we can move on to the statement of activity on page 13, also known as an income statement, and that shows all of our income and expenses over the course of the year. It starts off with our income revenue through the weekly offerings, $191,000. Thrive and Choice, $4,800, and other incomes of $25, and then our dividends and interest, which would be mainly Thrivent accounts or Thrivent funds of $14,655. Next on the report is the unrestricted income, which would be monies to the smaller accounts, and it shows the balances that were given there. Noisy offerings of 11,548, on the mission support of 11,215. Then the next would be monies that were given that are restricted, which means they're given for a specific purpose, such as flowers, the men's group, Sankrick Welka, the campers, family education crisis fund, and how much was received for each of those funds. And the total of the restricted income, $45,294. Then expenditures would be our expenses, office and equipment. We did get a new computer lease, or computer printer lease this year, which is supposed to save us money. So we will keep an eye on that and see how that is working out. I think it's been a blessing to upgrade. It's been working out well so far. Insurance has gone up a little bit this year. And then we have our bank charges. And on page 14, it starts off with salaries. Pastor, Becky, organist, custodians. And of course, we all have taxes. Telephone, internet expense. I'll let you go down the list there, and if anybody has any questions on those accounts. Again, everything is numbered, so if you have any questions about the balances, it also continues on the top of page 15. So in all, as a total, at the very bottom, the net revenue was minus $7,972.97. Now, partly because we have worship supplies and some of the other things that were noted, like the LP, we're taking out of unrestricted memorial funds. We have maintained a healthy balance this year, so no borrowing was necessary to maintain our regular checking account, which we have in the past had to borrow from time to time and then replenish when we were able. Now on the bottom of page 15 shows the historical giving summary by year. Again, I want to thank everyone for their giving. As always, over the course of the year, we start out doing well, and then it kind of drops a little bit during the summer months and then ramps up towards the end of the year. That was still the case this year. So if we can get more butts in the seat in the summer, that might help us level out the giving a little bit.
Okay, I think before we go on with the budget, I think we need to approve last year's financial report, if I'm correct?
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So before we go, any discussion, questions? I didn't see any hands, so if there are none, I need a motion to approve our 2025 financial report. We have a motion. Do we have a second? All right. No discussion since I've asked twice. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? All right, our 2025 New Hope Lutheran Financial Report has been approved. So now we can go on with the proposed budget.
Okay, that is found on page 16. And generally, our proposed budget is just an estimate of what we foresee as far as expenses this coming year. Total of $230,000, which would also include our benevolence, which we added last year. This year's giving was $210,000. Well, I'm sorry, with benevolence, $255,000. So we are hoping that continues, and our budget numbers should be close. So we're hoping that this will be a good year in 2026. If there's any questions there.
There is one new line. Do you want to talk about line 9 that we added with Pastor going halftime?
Line 9.
The
Okay.
Memorial Staffing Fund?
Yes. Being pastor, transferring to a halftime position, the council proposed putting any money that was normally paid out during the weeks that he will be off, the additional weeks he will be off, to keep that in a fund for guest pastors in the future. So
I think it was 2/3 of the savings.
2/3, yes.
Mhm. And I think that was also to kind of keep our budget consistent so that in years from now, you know, when pastor decides to stop, where our budget is, you know, there's not a big discrepancy. That money is accounted for. Some of it hopefully has been put away, so we'll have some extra there. Does anybody else have any other questions on our 2026 budget?
We did include something different than other years. We did include something in line 27 and 38. Oftentimes we left that at 0, but last year there was some discussion about putting at least something in there. We never know what's coming in for benevolence, but
Mhm.
putting something in there so it's representative. You can see where the other years have ended up and where.
So it's more like a starting point goal that we would like to meet and hopefully exceed.
And I believe our numbers for last year, I believe we had 11,000 something in that account for benevolence, and that's about where we ended up. So we are looking to maybe increase that amount a little bit with those two numbers, line 27 and 38.
All right, if there is no discussion, I do need a motion to approve the 2026 proposed budget.
I make a motion.
All right, there is a motion to approve the budget. Do I have a second? Okay, there is a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, our 2026 proposed budget is adopted. All right, anything more you have, Joe?
No.
All right, thank you very much for all your efforts as our council treasurer to keep our council on track as we move forward in 2026. All right, next we move on to our election of church council. So actually this year, our 2025 church council had 8 individuals who completed their 3-year terms. 3 of those individuals, Jesse Burr, Jerry Loftus, and myself, were all eligible for second terms and have agreed to continue for another 3 years. However, we do have 5 positions that we do need to fill. And I want to thank Stephanie North, John Loy, Marie Swanson, Dawn Kunkel, and Joe Bilodeau for completing their second 3-year term. All right, let's give them a hand. All right, and we have talked to people, and we do have some of the positions where there are some nominations where people have agreed. We do have 1 vacant position in family education. Vern Ellefson has agreed to take over for Joe for property and management here at Pine Creek. Bonnie Hagberg is going to be joining our outreach committee, and then Becky Schnacky and Mary Peterson will be joining our worship committee. Is there any discussion about our vacant position? Is there anyone that would be interested in nominating themselves or telling your neighbor to nominate you?
Does that need to be someone from Pine Creek?
No.
I ask because Ben wondered if he couldn't serve. He's not in here now, so I
Oh,
don't know if he's still.
I think he's out helping out there.
We have to look at the Constitution too, I'm not sure what it says as far as.
Confirm member or dues?
We could after, yeah, you could.
Ben? Yeah? Would you like to be elected to the Family Education Council?
All right, so
It's a 2-year term. You gotta-
3 years.
Oh, a 3-year term. Okay. Do you know what you have to do? You better look at the definition of the position.
I don't know, do I have so someone here that's on your family education want to explain the role of the job? Mm-hmm.
Sunday school and vacation Bible school and confirmation and stuff like that.
All right. So we have Ben Nielsen, all right, will be filling in for our family education. All right, so basically I need a motion again to approve our slate of new council members. Do I have a motion? Okay, is there a second? All right, motion has been made and seconded to approve our election of church council. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, congratulations, and thank you so much for offering your service. And those of you going off, we'll be happy to see you again in another year. Yes.
You should maybe explain that Annette and I on the worship and music,
What was that? I guess I'm not.
that we're a joint thing, but just my name appears. Annette and I.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, you can work together, there's only one person.
yeah. So they're just in name, but Annette is going to be working with Mary for the Church Urban Worship. Mary's going to be kind of doing the coming to the meetings and administrative part, and Annette will be helping her out with tasks here at the church that have to happen. So they decided to do it kind of as a little co-op. All right, next we have our delegation. We have 2 scheduled events in 2026. We have our Luther Park, which is February 7th, 2026. Each congregation is allowed 3 voting delegates. 1 vote goes to the pastor of the congregation. We need 2 volunteers for the congregation. Is there anyone here that may be interested in attending? Coming up here in a couple weeks?
I can let the office know.
All right. Otherwise, you can think about it and contact the office so that we can have a couple individuals attend to that. And then also we have the annual Northwest Synod of Wisconsin Assembly. The date and time is yet to be determined there. Again, Pastor Michael will be attending. We need 2 individuals for that one as well. So if that is something that you might be interested in, let Pastor Michael know or Becky know, call the office. And then we'll let you know what the date of that is when that becomes available as well. A good lunch. All right. So I think we're about done here. So do we have any other final questions or discussions? Any concerns that anyone has? Throughout this next year, council always welcomes if there's anything that you have concerns or things or ideas to to bring to the council, please, feel free to always do that. All right, we want to thank you for your attention and participation this morning. All right, and then again, I want to say a final thank you for all the incredible support and counsel that the leadership and congregation has given me as council president this past year. Okay, this job really isn't as bad as what everybody thinks it is. Yes.
Special thanks to the ladies this morning for.
Yes.
Yes. So what we all need is some good comfort food on these frigid days.
Coffee out there, too.
Okay, yep, so things are still set up out there, so feel free to go ahead and stick around and grab something a little bit more. We are pretty much finished here, so I need a motion to adjourn our annual meeting. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we adjourn.
Okay, second? All right, motion has been made and second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oppose? All right, motion carried. And we will end with the Lord's Prayer. Can we all stand, please?
Our Father,
Who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Okay, and a quick reminder that the council will meet just very briefly here. Hopefully we can get some officers maybe elected in some open positions. All right, thank you for the rest of you who have attended today.